Ladies and gentlemen, online listeners, welcome to this press conference called Peace and Cooperation for Enhancing Ambitious Climate Action. My name is Sonja Olsson. I will be moderating this session. And peace is playing a more and more critical role in driving climate action. And a few days ago, the COP29 presidency launched the Baku call on climate action for peace, relief, and recovery. And they will reactivate the pledges of water and food security, which are critical topics for peace. And actually, last night, I met a scientist from COP29, and he is doing research into the communication culture at COP29. And he said, start with the questions. So before I introduce our panelists here today, I'd like to ask if you as an audience have any questions on peace and cooperation for climate action. And if you don't have it now, you might think about it during our session today. What role does peace play in climate action? So I will have a warm welcome to our three panelists. Welcome to Sister Genti, here in the middle, administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris. Aneta Loy here next to me from Brahma Kumaris in Poland. And Mohammed Bar, head of strategic planning for Faith Pavilion COP29. A warm welcome to all of you. Yes. So I wanted to start with connecting peace and climate change. So I have invited Aneta Loy to start our session. She is a member of the national coordinating team of Brahma Kumaris in Poland, and she has worked 10 years as a volunteer on our India One solar thermal power plant in India, and also conducted training solar thermal technologies with UNDP and the government of India. But most of all, Aneta is also the focal point to UN Convention for Combating Anti-Desertification. So welcome, Aneta. And how do we connect peace and climate change?
Thank you, Sonja. So first, I would like to say greetings of peace to everyone. And indeed, I'm very happy to be here because it is a very, very important thing and very useful to understand so we can contribute in a positive way to tackling the climate crisis. Peace and climate are very deeply interconnected. Actually, the lack of peace profoundly impacts the environment, and it also accelerates the climate change. And as I was preparing for this conference, I learned few very interesting insights and statistics that I would like to share with you. One is actually the war that we, humanity, are waging on nature by exploiting it, by destroying it. Another war is the war that we have with one another, among countries, among nations. So today, in our current world, actually, we face the highest number of armed conflicts since the end of the Second World War. And the military carbon footprint accounts for 5.5% of total emissions in the whole world. And actually, if military would be just one country, it would be the fourth highest emitter in the whole world. So I wonder where military is here at the negotiating table. So one is the emissions, but second thing is the spendings of the military. And in 2023, the military spent $2.4 trillion, which is such a huge amount, and we could only imagine what could be done if this money would be distributed and directed to climate change action. On top of that, war, when it happens, it devastates the environment. The bombs destroys forests, chemicals pollute soil and water, fires cause air pollution, and then wildlife habitats are destroyed. For people, wars are the most difficult nightmare. The war influences the health of people, both on physical level and mental level. The food insecurity is caused by wars because of the destroyed farmlands. Mass displacement happens, and then the conflicts are intensifying. So why we have so many wars and conflicts in the world? So we believe that actually the violence that is happening today in the world starts within. The moment when I forget who I am, when I lose connection with my inner peace, and I start to rely on things outside, this disconnection creates division. And then there is I and you, mine and yours. So the solution that we learn from spirituality is to reconnect that with the inner peace, to remember who truly I am, that I am the being of peace. And I can connect with the source of peace, and I can draw love and peace, and I can empower myself. So not only I become peaceful, I act peaceful, but I also can share peace with others. So I would like to finish now with just a very brief moment of collective peace. Thank you very much. It's really time now to become peace and to share peace with others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aneta. Very interesting to hear about the different wars we are waging on nature, on ourselves and each other. Our next speaker will be Mohammed Bar. Mohammed is from the Muslim Council of Elders, and he has a background in consulting. And here at the past COPs, he's working as the head of strategic planning for the Faith Pavilion. And Mohammed, we are very happy to work and cooperate with you and the Faith Pavilion. Thank you very much for all your support. And Mohammed, would you like to share the story of the Faith Pavilion as an example of peace and cooperation for climate action?
Thank you so much, Sister Sonia, for having me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you, guests, for your attendance. I think the Faith Pavilion started with a dream before COP28, and it was a wonderful collaboration with Brahma Kumaris. And different organizations in our coalition. The Faith Pavilion was established actually to elevate faith leaders as a vital contributors to climate action. I think they hold the moral compass and the deep connection with communities to allow them to engage people in ways others cannot. The initiative starts with a deep belief for COP28 presidency to have the most inclusive COP ever. And we're continuing the legacy with another belief from the COP29 presidency, and we thank them for their cooperation and for all the efforts to host the Faith Pavilion this year and supporting the faith-based communities. No one can tackle the climate crisis alone. Partnerships with faith leaders are essential for fostering inclusive and locally driven solutions. The Faith Pavilion also was been successful as a platform to gather faith-based organizations. According to statistics, faith-based organizations are responsible for 1.5 million projects in sustainability. And I think it's a time for us internally as a faith-based organizations to connect and learn from each other on the policy level, on the national level, and of course, and also on the advocacy level. Beside the innovative solutions that we discuss in the Faith Pavilion and this wonderful environment we create for the faith-based organizations, I think it's a space for all. And if you really got a climate anxious, there is a place for you at COPs. The Face Pavilion is free and open space for dialogue and collaborations. It welcomes diverse voices and encourages innovative ideas and for sustainable future. And unlike any other pavilion, the Face Pavilion is really has a different spirit. It has a spirit of hope and unity, and it's really a healthy, peaceful environment that really introduces a different narrative that inspires action and optimism. And it's actually counterbalancing the urgency often associated with climate discourse. As I mentioned, it's a place of hope. It transforms the COP experience, reminding us that hope and humanity are essential in addressing the climate crisis. And I think for the second year, I would say that now it's not just a pavilion, it's a movement that's really united all the faith-based organizations. And we're looking forward in the COP30 to launch an initiative and a strong coalition and hopefully a framework or a unified framework for faith-based driven framework that really collide or not, just to, I would say, unify the faith-based organizations. So it's a long-term commitment from the Muslim Council of Elders and from all the faith-based organizations, including the Faith Pavilion Coalition, is to remain as a vital platform for COPs at least until 2030. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for sharing the success story of the Faith Pavilion and all the ingredients. And as we entered here into the press conference room, we had to talk about how can we take a leap for next COP and increase the influence of the Faith Pavilion. So if anyone has ideas, I'm sure Mohammed is welcome to listen. Our next speaker is Sister Jenti Kirpalani, Additional Administrative Head of the Brahma Kumaris and our main representative to the UN in Geneva. As a spiritual teacher for over 50 years, she is leading our delegation to the COP conferences since 2009. And she has spoken on many international platforms about spiritual perspectives on the environment crisis. Sister Jenti, would you like to highlight for us the connection between inner peace and climate action?
Thank you, Sonia. I'd like to begin with a greeting of peace, Om Shanti. Om means I am, and Shanti is peace. And yes, definitely, when there's peace within, something changes very dramatically within our consciousness, and we begin to have respect for ourselves, respect for human beings, for all forms of life, and for nature itself. So non-violence and doing no harm to others becomes an intrinsic way of our being. And you can see how we heard about the horrific statistics of war and the impact on the environment. We also heard about faith coalition, faiths coming together. When there's peace within, then I'm able to have a state of self-respect, self-awareness. And in that, I'm able to respect other religions, all traditions. I'm able to respect human beings, but most of all forms of life and nature itself. My understanding is that from the moment we lost contact with our own inner identity, our spiritual identity, from that moment we lost respect for ourselves, but also we lost respect all the way down the line, and the exploitation and the aggression that exists between human beings and humans and nature is a direct outcome of this. And so if we wish to reverse the process, we have to go back to the awareness of the inner being within. And in that awareness of who I truly am, then with that platform of self-respect and my own inner identity, my consciousness changes, everything else around me also changes. But on a very practical level, I know that the Brahma Kumaris are one of the leading users of renewable energies in India. We have over 5,000 centers, and many of the larger ones are equipped with solar systems, but also the smaller centers use solar cookers. Just one example, our main headquarters in Abu caters for 30,000 people at a time. And we prepare all our meals with solar thermal power. And just imagine, we're able to prepare a meal for 30,000 people in 90 minutes. Now, this is a direct outcome of using the inner awareness of peace to creating a solar system which is totally new and was developed as something which was the first of its kind in India. You heard about Anata spending 10 years as a volunteer working as a project manager for this. And it was, the motivation came from inner peace. It leads to an expansion of our horizon and creativity in a way that is used for peaceful means in the world. The other aspect has been plantation of trees. Literally millions and millions of people have been inspired to create orchards, to create plantations where there are trees, and so again a huge contribution. A third contribution, just in terms of nature, has been a progress in terms of our yogic agricultural methods, and this has been researched by several agricultural universities in India, and what has been found is that a microbacterial content of the soil increases in its positive content. The energy of meditation by the family and other people around the land of agriculture is one in which pests seem to fly away. It's a reality, it's not imagination, it's been researched. And of course, the nutritional content of the food without pesticides and chemicals is a great attribute in addition to health. So I'm seeing how when there's a state of inner peace and a balance within my own spiritual life and my practical life, then it means that whatever actions we perform are going to be of benefit not just to myself, but the community and to nature itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Yanti, for highlighting that connection for us. So I wonder if now any one of you has any questions or comment, you're most welcome. Yeah, please, the mic is here. Please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julian. I am from the Atlas movement, and I love what you all said here. I think spirituality has a lot to do with the environment. I just wanted to highlight that according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, we mass produce and slaughter over 90 billion sentient animals a year. Besides that, over 40% of the land use of our planet is for agriculture, and most of it for cattle production and dairy production. So besides it being a completely unethical way of treating animals and other sentient beings on the planet, it's environmentally a disaster. I just want to highlight this point that I don't know if people here are vegan or will follow a vegan philosophy, but I think if every human or the most humans would follow a vegan philosophy, we would have a much better world, and we necessarily don't even have to have a COP29 to tackle these issues. Thank you.
Thank you for highlighting the vegan aspect, and actually our two speakers here from Brahma Kumaris are vegan. I have a question to them because outside the religions are waging war to each other, but here in the COP process, the religions are uniting because the nature doesn't discriminate when it comes to religions. So the religions has done a fantastic work of cooperation in the climate action process. So I wonder, Mohammed and Sister Genti, how can we increase the impact for spiritual organizations? You go first.
Thank you. The Faith Pavilion is a beautiful example of bringing people of faith together. And in fact, I think that process started in an official way during the time that Christiana Figueres was the executive secretary, because she supported the interfaith coalition that existed in a very unofficial capacity. But she asked her chief of staff to make sure that that did become official, and I'm sure that was one of the seeds that led to the Faith Pavilion. But I see how still we have different organizations focusing in their way, in their own projects, but I do envision a future in which all the different faiths will focus their energy truly in creating hope in humanity, because all the faith traditions believe that the Spirit is eternal and that we are the children of the divine. And so to allow that goodness to emerge so that we can collaborate together and work together using just this concept of being one family and having one home. It's this planet which is our home. Plan B doesn't seem to have yielded any results so far. And so coming together, I think that we can really create a sound that can wake up people, because within our own traditions, we're doing the best that we can, but I think it's when all of us come together with one voice, and that's when the one family will awaken and will make the leaders change their decisions. Because I think that it's come to the point where there are enough people who can understand all this and create a noise that's loud enough to wake up the leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Genti. The religions become an alarm clock, and we turn the snooze function off. So, Mohammed, next.
Oh, thank you, Sister. I think that the Faith Pavilion is, as you see in the logo, it's Faith Climate Action. I think in the first edition and the second edition, we were able to initially have faith in each other as a faith-based organizations, and to spread this faith around us and to give people hope, and also like utilizing the influence of the high-level religious leaders so they can influence decision makers to have a moral decision. And I think that the next phase is to deliver on the climate action. And I think after establishing the wonderful coalition, I think we are ready as a faith-based organizations to unite and deliver some action and continue the road and the efforts.
Thank you very much for the plan and for the encouragement. I see a question from the audience.
Thank you. My name is Abdul Hadi Barakat. I'm from Palestine.
Close to the mic, yeah.
Yeah, now, my name is Abdul Hadi Barakat. I'm from Palestine. Actually, it became more clear that we need also to focus on the sustainability of achievements on climate action, rather than also to make additional progress. One of the challenges that we can see is the sustainability of the investments on climate change actions, like what's going on right now in Gaza, for example. The Israelis, during the concurrent attack on Gaza, they destroyed almost more than 95% of the renewable energy investment in Gaza. So I wonder how the world or how the parties can adopt measures to protect climate action achievements and investments. Thank you.
Any comments from the audience, from the panelists?
I think that it's so important to come back to spirituality, because as spiritual beings, then we recognize that we are one family, we are children of the One, and in that awareness, then we can truly create a relationship of brotherhood. And I hope that that is something that will strike people on all sides and all directions, so that we heard the statistics of war, and they apply very much to Gaza. So my vision for the future is that when we come to that spiritual awareness, there can be a change in whatever it is we're doing externally.
Thank you, Sister Jenti. And may I ask you to guide a short meditation, like 2 minutes for us, and to send good wishes to Gaza and peace and cooperation.
I let my body become quiet, both feet on the ground so that the body is balanced. And I turn my attention inwards. And as I watch my thoughts, the speed of my thoughts slows down. And I can select one thought, the thought of peace. I hold peace in my mind. And there's an understanding now that peace is my original state of being. Peace is who I am. Peace is comfortable. And in this awareness of peace, I send out vibrations of peace to all those in distress in so many parts of the world, so that each soul may find peace within and be able to express that peace in their life, in their actions. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Jenti, and we are coming towards an end, so thank you very much to the 3 speakers. We give them a hand. And here on the on the slide, you can see where you can get more information from Brahma Kumaris and also from Faith Pavilion. If you want to meet Muhammad, you can find him in the Faith Pavilion. Sister Jenti will be here on an interfaith press conferences at 2 o'clock today. And at 4 o'clock, Aneta will present on our solar energy in India in the Cryosphere Pavilion. We also do a live stream in the evening online. And tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, there will be 2 speakers from India. Thank you very much.